Hi everybody, it's Diane here with filming time. I don't have to leave. There's nothing else I need to do. I can do crafts, except I don't know what to do. Yeah, I've been working in those, the big altered book and the small one, because there aren't a lot of pages left in theory. But yeah, every time I count, it's like 9, 10, oh, I thought it was less than that. I've been working in those quite a bit to try to fill them up, and I'm tired of those. And that's kind of all I'm doing lately, right? Am I missing something? I have a couple of those books going, the hardback journals, but the glue is drying. I don't know. So I grabbed an index card. As you can see, I grabbed the scrapbook paper stuff. I don't know. Is there something we can do? Those are copies of collages I made a few years ago. And to be honest, there's really no point to making these because I made it to 61, which is what you need for iCAD. So I'm considering that this year's iCAD. They can be journal cards, although I haven't really been making those kind of journals lately. They can be, cards to send to friends, except I hardly ever send cards out anymore. So, and I cut this out kind of poorly. That's not too bad. A little wonky. Yeah, circles, even though, I have a definite line there and everything, circles are hard to cut out. So, alright, if you're a paper type collage person, glue booker, junk journaler, etc., what do you do when you don't know what to do? A zine crossed my mind, but a subject, nothing came to my mind for a subject, and to be honest, those are kind of a lot of work. It's, I don't know, was it like 8 sides, something like that, to fill up. So I didn't really feel like getting that involved. And, it's not, I guess that is an attitude. But I don't know. I think, basically I do the same stuff every time. It's just a different size, really. And I don't know, Diane's getting tired of that. So tell her what she should do, because she doesn't know. And I sort of was, I wouldn't say short videos, but I usually have quite a few waiting to go up, which is nice, just in case, you catch a cold, something comes up, whatever, you can't make videos. Your husband's he's viddy, so you can't make busios. Does that make sense? Do you need the Diane decoder ring with this video? I think so. But anyway, so I like to have some, waiting just in case something comes up. So I kind of felt like I should make a video. But as we can see, she didn't know what to do. And it's probably pretty obvious, right? So I've kind of seen better days here. Haven't we all, right? Speak for yourself, Diane. Okay, I was. But I said, haven't we all? I know. Well, I sort of just like this. But it's sort of a waste of stamps. Well, this one's all crumbly. Yeah, you wouldn't want to waste any, Diane, right? Is that some trait of the paper community? You wouldn't want to waste stuff, and you've got a whole box of it, right? Tamp of the ore. I'm reading that Yeah, we really do need a decoder ring. Well, that's something. Could use something more definite on the other side, don't you think? I have definite type things in the back here. Otherwise, as most of you know, I have all kinds of stuff off camera. Flowers are always a safe route, right? I should do something with that. It's a handle drawer pull. No. Now, you'll see this after Easter, but that's coming right up here. And I hope the weather cooperates. Our weather's been, the temperatures have been literally like this. Like 78, the next day is 40. I mean, that's a little extreme, even for us Midwestern type people. Well, maybe this doily looking thing, mandala. Is that how you pronounce that? I'm not sure. I never heard anybody actually say that word. Well, that's okay. It needs help stitching, except there's white thread in my machine and I hate changing my thread. That's something. Okay. This thing. What do you put with a drawer pull? A drawer? A chest or something, right? A dresser? No. Sorry. Rocking our scissors there. No, Diane, that's really dumb. Sorry. If you're thinking that, that's quite alright. It was really dumb. Nah. It's kind of cool. Elastic starch. I've never used starch in my life. I know my mother said, now this is going back, you know, to like the Depression, and it was probably a cost-saving thing. But her mother would starch her dresses for school, so the skirts like stuck out like that. It kept it cleaner. That's before my time. I don't understand it. But it sounded like my mom wasn't real happy about that. Oh, sometimes people would use starch for like doilies and that kind of projects and stuff, but I never did. Led such a sheltered life. Wow, Diane's talking about starch today on her channel. Go listen. I'm sure that'll like really, you know, what's the word? It escapes me. This is cool. When something blows up on the internet, what do they call it? Everyone's screaming at me. Viral. Thank you. Hey, it works. Alright, let's put one of these with it. Which one? I kind of like the bike. Well, it's a trike. These I made too and copied them. Okay. Now what are you going to do with it? I don't know. Definitely needs a background. I don't, you know what we should do? Grab that. Let's grab that aged one. And even if it gets totally covered, then that's probably a good thing. Okay, that's better. Frederick Stern and Company. Maybe there should be text type stuff under that. What do you think of that? And this plaid stamp book is not cooperating. It doesn't want to go back in its little spot. It's a little short. Now that's pretty silly. Gee, Diane, that you cut that really crooked. Well, I was kind of distracted by a dog. Yeah, blame it on the dog. You're rocking your scissors again, I noticed. Sorry. Okay, I think I'm brushing the camera with my hair. Stop wearing a big bouffant, I guess. All right. Can live with that. Still need some such something. Such as what? I don't know. Do we need some sort of pattern or something under that bike? It's a trike, Diane, sorry. Yeah, something would be okay. I think that pattern is too small. Yeah, if that's too small, there's something like this. That's not going to work. Get in there. Now the shade of brown is off. No. Took you long enough to come to know. Yeah, sorry. I should do something with all these scraps. Should I not? We're getting a little much lately. I don't know. I'm not going to make a master board because then I have a master board sitting around and I'm doing nothing with that. You know, those are fun to make. They really are. But, you know, Diane, the wet blanket, they can be hard to use, though, I feel. You know, they're too busy. They've got too much stuff on them. It's, I don't know. Maybe other people don't have a problem. Okay, that's kind of cool. What about this other side? This is too short. Well, yeah, it matters. I was saying maybe it doesn't matter, but yeah, it looks kind of dumb. I could piece it. I generally don't like doing that because you can see a seam, so to speak, but you know, it's doable. Okay. That still needs something though, too. All right, let me pause. I'll glue that stuff. This may be out of luck. And we'll come back and see. Like, yeah, they could use some flowers or something. Okay, hang on. Okay, we're glued and I inked edges. Definitely could use some flowers. I pulled some papers ahead of time so you guys wouldn't get horribly bored. And you're so considerate. I know. Not sure about those colors. Might look nice on this one. Yes, I love cutting these out. I don't even like cutting them off the paper. What's on the back of this? Oh, that's pretty nice. You just want to lay a piece of paper down and it gets hooked on something else and it's a big problem. That's okay. I think it's still kind of sparse though, don't you? To quote Telly Savalas and Kelly's Heroes, there's no action. Stitching is still possible, as I mentioned earlier. Yeah, this is way too boring. Is stitching a washi, a border, I don't know. I thought these colors were nice, although I thought this white flower might be nice too. It's bigger. Oh, that's nice. Well, what would you do? These colors are really good. Well, I think I'm going to go with this, but that white would be nice too. Make 2 cards and put white on one and this coral color on the other. Yeah, right. Okay. Now that could be good to go with some stitching. Okay. Well, do we want to try to do something with this handle that didn't work out too well last time? I don't know why this is... Oh, it's the paper. Okay. I thought it was, you know, that's the way it was printed. They had a white corner for some reason. Okay. That won't bother us anymore. All right. Well, we already kind of went through that scrap box, didn't we? Nah. Sneak peek. This is one of the books I'm working on. The cover. Actually, it turned out, I thought, kind of cool. I know, I always think that, right? No. Oh, I know. We need like a, there's no lock there, but we need a key. It doesn't make sense, Diane. There's no lock there. I have these. Well, actually, there's locks on here too, or you know what I mean. The keyhole. And then I have a new paper that I'm probably not going to be able to find that has keys and assorted other goodies on it. La la la. Put a second box on there. Or, you know what I mean. Drawer front thing. Is that a better explanation? Alright, I'm going to pause because I can't find it, but I want to look at that paper. Hang on a minute. Okay, well, I don't know what happened. I filmed about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. I found this paper. This is what I was looking for. It was right there, but I just didn't see it. I put this card together, which is a little bit of sepia ink, stamping on that with text, this stuff, and then these 3 things I got off that paper, and I added a little phrase because there's a a label here, although it's a tad big, but that's okay. All right, I do all that, and I go to take, I say I'm gonna completely finish. I hadn't sewn yet, and I go to take the phone off the arm. It's not filming, it's just a black screen. I don't know what it did. The storage isn't full, the battery was fine. My husband doesn't know what it did. So somebody didn't want that segment, saved for posterity. So I'm sorry. Okay, here this one is. It's basically simple. No sewing, no border. I think it's cool. I like that quite a bit. I think it's the elements and the colors really go well together. I like that. It's inked around the edges in black. Okay, here we have this one. So I added the rows there, a little bit of zigzag stitching. Oh, this one I didn't trim. Sorry about that. And it's really nice. The first really, really nice day. I have my windows open. There's all kinds of noise, so I'm trying to hurry. This one, I added quite a bit of stitching down here, a postmark, and then that's a scanned and printed trim of mine. But, that looks pretty good at a glance. It looks real. And then those roses. Okay, so journal cards or iCads or just stuff to do because I didn't know what to do. And I'm sorry again about that segment. Lost to the ages. Okay, folks, thanks for watching, though. I hope you have a nice day.